So, everybody, welcome back to the channel. You already know who it is. It's your boy. Don't need to say anything. Alright, today, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get into a very good topic that I've been having with my Discord servers and all those things. And this is a topic about stats. No, not in a certain way that you think it is. I'm talking about sweet spots and stats, right? Because this game, it has multiple ways to get stats, whether that is stats on your badges, rather it's the cores that you equip, whether it all depends on the RNG that you get on your gear. So you don't really have control over like what stats that you can get. You can also get it from your cards and the companions as well. So as a free to play player or as a low spender, hell, even as the average Joe in this game, I'm trying to convey what would be, not the perfect stats, but maybe a ballpark of stats that you should probably aim for as you are playing this game to probably get the most mid-max that you can get. Because let's face it, you're not going to be able to cap every stat unless if you transmute your gear. You ain't going to be able to do that unless if you spend that money, man. So let's get right into it, okay, guys? So all this is going to be PVE. PvP, that will be up for another video. So let's just hop right into it. So now, when I play as Storm, these are kind of the stats that I somewhat run. I usually have more critical damage and things of those natures, but I want to take this one step at a time. Not going to stay too much on it, but let's say you are a character that does not utilize the ultimate gauge that much. So we're talking about characters like Iron Man, Storm, basically every character not named Magic, Captain Marvel, or Black Widow, right? So when you first come in here, stamina recovery. What would be a good sweet spot for stamina recovery? I would like to say maybe around the 150 to 160% range. If you can get that, that's a very nice sweet spot, especially if you have characters like Iron Man and then Storm that has buffs too. I mean, I guess Star-Lord has them as well. Hell, even Doctor Strange has them too. I forgot he has that buff. These characters that have buffs that can boost their stamina recovery over a certain amount of time. Now ultimate gauge recovery. I talked to some people, and I've honestly heard ultimate gauge recovery, it's probably best to max that out if you can, even if you are playing some of those characters. Maybe let's probably drop it, instead of like max it out, maybe try to get to 180% if you can, maybe 160%, around that ballpark. You should start seeing some numbers. Accuracy rate for PVE, you just in case if you guys do not know this, bosses and enemies can dodge, but however, there has been some stats that has been shown that to subjugate that accuracy rate, you want at least 13% accuracy rate. So at least bare minimum for PvE, 13% accuracy rate. Right now I only have 10%, so you're probably looking at 113% accuracy rate. But to give it some more juice to it, maybe try to go for 120% accuracy rate to be more sure of what you want. Dodge rate. Dodge rate does not matter for PvE, so I'm going to really skip that. You can do that as you will, maybe just 10%, it doesn't matter. Critical rate. Now, critical rate is probably one of the most important stats for PvE. In my opinion, I would say if you can, just go ahead and max it out, but I understand not everybody can do that. So, my best suggestion is the sweet spot for critical rate will probably be around 60%. I know some people who have still found, joyous and with 50% critical rates. So I'm going to say let's do 50 to 60% of critical rate, right? So that's what we're going to be looking at there. Critical damage, I want to say the least that you can get for critical damage is try to push for 230 critical damage for sure. Because critical rate and critical damage are kind of going to be like one of the most high value stats that you want to have on your character when you want to do PvE. Max damage rate, 0%. No one cares. Cooldown. I skipped one. I'm so sorry. Defensive pierce. Now, this one is a quite interesting one. because here's the thing. Defense appears doesn't, it's not really big important for PVE, but you don't want to rock 0 of it, right? So if I had to put a number on it, I would say if I were you, try to shoot for 35% defense appears, okay? You don't want to rock none. You don't want to rock under 20%. But I've heard instances where, as soon as people hit that 30% threshold in the defense appears, they've definitely felt themselves doing much more better on terms of damage output. And this game is a damage output game. Total damage, I have 14% right now, but listen here. I am an elemental character, so elemental characters don't really care that much about total damage. It is a stat that is nice to have to along your elemental damage. So let's say you are a character that doesn't do elemental damage. So anybody that is not named Storm or Star-Lord, basically. You want to try to get your total damage up to about 30, 40-ish%. If you can. That is probably the way that I would try to tell you guys to go. Cooldown decrease. It is nice to try to shoot for 35% cooldown decrease. 35% minimum. That's why I would say go for that. Status effect accuracy. This one is kind of a weird one because other than Star-Lord, this is probably useless for most characters. So most characters not named Star-Lord, I wouldn't invest anything in status effect accuracy. Honestly, it's just there. It's going to be a different outcome when I'm talking about PvP, but as far as PvE, it doesn't matter. But if you are a Star-Lord player, status effect accuracy, try to go for 140%. If you can get there. Try to go for 140%. Everything else is just PvP. Air to surface damage. This is going to be a good one for flyers, but if you can, honestly, it's very situational, so I would say 0%. But let's say you capped out on some things. Maybe try to shoot for maybe 12% air to surface, maybe 12-20% around there. So that's a good thing. Villain damage, again, doesn't really matter. It's just something that's there. But with training grounds coming, people want to push their XP as fast as possible. Maybe villain damage has some kind of usefulness to it. If you care about that much, I would say shoot for 20% villain damage if you can. I know for a fact that would help out a lot. As far as these other stats that I am looking down here, we haven't really tested these. I don't really think these matter all that much. I mean, they probably do, but we have to get more stats into them. I did skip one. Let me go ahead. Super villain damage. Super villain damage, I would say, strictly PvE, try to shoot for 40 to 50%. 40 to 50% on your super villain damage. Your character would definitely pop off a lot more in PvE when you have a higher on your, higher stats on your super villain damage. And I know some of these are not very feasible all that much. This is just kind of like maybe a ballpark that I just wanted to give out to you guys. Of course, if you can, max these stats out, then do it. I'm not, making this video for the people who has all the money in the world or they just have like the godliest RNG so they can max out stats and you don't have to take away. But a majority of this game is, in order to max out a stat, you're going to have to take away from another stat. And that's just the truth of it, and that's just how the game goes. That doesn't mean that the game is doing something wrong. I mean, technically it is. It doesn't mean that you are technically doing something wrong. That's just how the game functions. And sadly, we're not going to get any more ways to boost these stats unless if you're willing to spend a lot of money, aka nanoing, or aka getting special cards, or aka 6-star and 5-star in your companions, some specials to rare to common. So those are kind of stats that you, and I do want to put an emphasis on this because people would sit here and they would tell you attack does not matter. It doesn't matter. Like, there is a thing that we like to call diminishing in returns. Like, yes, it's okay to work on your attack up to a certain point, But that doesn't mean walk around here with 19k attack or barely reach 20k attack, right? Because then at that point, it doesn't matter how much crit rate or crit damage you have. You're going to be hitting like a pillow regardless because you have all that. So what I would try to shoot for you guys is, for your attack, try to go for 21k to 23k, around that ballpark if you can. Now, if you have to get to 21k attack, but you gotta lose like 30% crit damage, and you gotta lose like 15% crit rate, then at that point you're taking a lot away to your build just to get there. So don't do that. Again, man, a lot of this is just going to take some time. I want to alleviate these stats as much as possible as I can. Like I said, I've been talking to multiple people about this. I've been building multiple characters about this. I've been trying my hardest to, show what I have going on for you guys for each character, so I know what I can speak on and what I can't speak on. I have definitely been doing my due diligence. Like, if you guys see this, I have like regional gear almost all my alts. I think the only two I don't have regional gear for is Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel. So each character is gonna have their own, quirks to them. Like, when you play Doctor Strange, his requirements might be you need 50%. I mean, was it 50%? Yeah, 50% cooldown decrease, regardless, right? Just like when you play with Spider-Man, you're going to need that 75% dodge versus everybody else, regardless. Or when you play Captain Marvel or Magic, for the matter of fact, you want to try to get as much as ultimate gauge recovery as possible, rather if that's maxed out. So you might go ahead and focus on that stat versus other stats. Or when you play Star-Lord, you may want to focus on status effect accuracy more than you want to focus on another attack, because you want to stack his flame damage to increase his damage over and over time. So I will always say, just look at your character, look at how they work, find out what their quirks are, and try to build around that, right? That's the best thing I can do to help you guys. These are just rough numbers. These are just something that, are kind of universal numbers that I'm trying to give out here. Like I said, some of these may vary depending on what character you play. So if this was able to help anybody, let me know down below. And if you need something specific for your character, just let me know. I would definitely hop in a channel somewhere to get some specific details on a character, because like I said, man, I am working on every single character here to get as much knowledge as possible. And you guys think I'm joking? I am not. I have full regional, or even on my Black Widow. So just to let you guys know, man, I'm still playing this game. I still think it's fun, as far as like, I keep building my characters. But PvP stats will be coming a little bit later. I don't know when. We'll see when that comes. But until then, guys, peace out. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Or your Thursday as well, depending on where you are. I know some people are a day ahead of me, so just enjoy your weekend. If not, same day as me, enjoy your Thursday.